All right, so variables on both sides of equations is what we talked about in class today. Okay, so let's go through real quick and let's just work through these. Now remember, I did do 1 through 6 are going to be pretty much identical in your process. Okay, so always our first step is going to be to distribute if needed. And remember, we know if we need it because we see the parentheses. All right, our second step is going to be to combine like terms. And this is going to look a little different today as we're going to combine on each side before we move anything across the equal sign. All right, our third step is going to be a new step. Okay, so we are going to move the variable to one side. Okay, and I usually move that to the left. You can do either. Okay, I do move that to the left. And then our last step is going to be to solve. Okay, so once we move our variables to one side, it should turn into either a 1 or 2 step equation for us. And you'll see what I mean very quickly in these first few. Okay, so for numbers 1 through 6, there's no distributive property needed. There's also no reason to combine like terms. That is already done on 1 through 6. So we're going to do the same process, picking up with step 3, where we move the variable and then we simply solve. All right, so I always move the variable to the left. So I see a 3y over here on the right, and I mean the right of my equal sign. So I'm going to subtract 3y from both sides, which gives me 2y minus 8 equals 12. And then this is where it picks up, y'all, as a two-step equation. Add our 8. So all of this is stuff you've already done from here. And then divide by 2, and your y should equal 10. So there was only one additional step so far today before it turned into a problem like we have already done several of. Okay, same thing for number 2. No distributing because there's no parentheses. Everything is simplified as it can be on each side, the left and the right of the equal sign. So my first step is going to be to move this variable from the right over to the left. Remember, we always do the opposite. Okay, so that gives me 2x plus 14 equals 12. Move the addition next. And then our last step is to divide. Okay. Next one, I'm going to start by moving this 3k. I wanted to give y'all time to catch up. So 4k is going to equal negative 36. And then our last step, now this one's only a one step from here. We're going to divide by 4, and k is going to equal negative 9. So remember, we're still always performing the opposite operation. All right, know your integer rules, y'all. Negative 2 minus 9 is going to give me negative 11. Okay, so now we remove the addition or subtraction. Well, that's going to be this 12 right here. Bring down that negative 11u. And then our last step is to divide by negative 11, which gives me negative 3. Okay, number 5. So the first thing I'm going to move is this 6m, and that's a negative 6m, so I'm going to add 6m. All right, so that's a negative 1 right there. So it's negative 1m plus 6m. So that's a positive 5m. Okay, so in class today, a lot of people were struggling with what sign goes there. If that's a positive 5, it'll be a plus sign because you used that negative. Okay, now I'm going to move my 11. And divide by 5, and m does equal 8. All right, and the last one of these that are the basic variables on both sides equations with no extra steps. That's going to give me a negative 3k. Everything else comes down. Move the 1. Divide by negative 3. All right. So whenever I go to the next page, numbers 7 through 12, they have a few more steps. Okay, so for number 7, the first thing I see are those parentheses, which means I am, in fact, going to distribute. So that gives me 18p minus 3 equals 11p minus 45. And y'all, from here, your steps are exactly the same. Once we get to here, it is a 2-step equation, so we're going to move the 3 first. Signs, negative 45 plus 3. You subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. So p equals negative 6 there. Okay. And I'm going to keep this same process going, y'all, as on every single problem. Again, it's a video. You can rewind, fast forward if you don't need a certain one. Okay, remember negative times a negative is a positive 30. All right, so here I distributed. Now I need to simplify, which means I need to combine like terms. So there's nothing over here that I can combine. It's going to stay the same, but this is going to turn into 10w plus 34. Now we're going to move our letters to the left. And 2-step equation. Please make sure that you're distributing fully. Every set of parentheses you see is going to need some distributive property applied to it. Please don't get sloppy or lazy with your notes. Make sure that you can read what you're writing and that you write everything down. All right, we're combining like terms there. And now we're rearranging. I'm going to move my letter to the left. And I'm going to solve my 2-step equation. All right, this is a negative 7 that you're distributing here. So that's a minus 21. Again, we're going to combine our like terms. So that's negative 16 and negative 21. So I have negative 14a minus 37. And let's move our letters. So plus 2a here and plus 2a here. Make sure you're adding a's to a's and numbers to numbers. right, so my last two. Got two sets of distributing on each one of these. This is an understood -1. It still has to be distributed, y'all. That makes it a -1x and a plus 18. And this makes this a -2x and a -30. Combine your like terms on each side. Start moving. Again, rewind if you need to, pause, slow it down, but you should be able to see what I'm doing in each step. I'm distributing first. I'm combining like terms on the same side. And then I'm variables on both sides. I'm moving my variable first. Then I'm moving my constant number. And then my last step is to divide and get y by itself. Okay. Hope this helps you guys. If you were not in class today, or even if you struggled, go back through these notes, try them on your own, and see where you mess up compared to me.